Hi there. Thanks for coming to art. So we're going to continue our drawing series today. The last time we met, I asked you to do a negative space drawing like this one. And we concentrated on the negative space, the space around the pots, because by doing that, it helps us to really look carefully and solve some of the problems you encounter when you make art. So today, we're going to do a positive space drawing, like this one, but we're going to put together all the things you've already learned. We will sometimes, when trying to get the shape of the pot right, look at the negative space here. But we will also look at the positive space, and we'll add lights and darks. It's called value. We'll add shading to our work to make it even more interesting. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how. Okay, for this project, you're going to need the following. Your sketchbook. In this case, I put it sideways. This is called the landscape format. You can do it however you want. You'll need a regular pencil. And this is a dark shading pencil, which I have put on a cart in your room. And this is a tortillon. That's a shading tool. It's made out of rolled paper. And take good care of it and put it back on the cart when you're not using it. You also might like to have an eraser. And of course, you need a picture of what you're drawing. And I will put one in Google Classroom, and I will also try to bring the pots down to your room so you can look at it. So I have a drawing here so that you can follow along and see what it is I am looking at across the room and drawing. So just like you learned in the beginning part of contour drawing, you put your eye on the object, and as you run your eye around the contours of the object, make your hand move to go with it. So I am putting my eye right about here at the top of the pot, and it's a very distinctive pot with very distinctive shapes. And I'm going to tell you to press down lightly when you're first starting out. I'm going to press down because if I don't, you won't see what I'm drawing. I see a shape that goes like that. I actually see a little shadow line here. Then this shape goes in on both sides, goes out, bulges out, comes down. I will do the matching side here. It comes down, it flares out, then I see a line across like that. And because I'm doing the positive shapes, I am going to draw those lines that I see within the pot. And this is quite long. It comes out down here, and then I see this little thumb latch go up. And this shape goes down here, like that, kind of curves out and down. What happens here? I'm going back, I'm going to follow the shape, and now what shape do I see? Comes back and it curves down like that. Over here, I will come down and try to do the matching shape, which is very hard to do while you're talking, let me tell you. So when you're doing your work, make sure you get someplace where you can be quiet and really focus. It'll be much easier. Right here, there's a light shadow line. I'm just putting it in there to remind myself. Back here, this comes out here. I see right here under the pot a shape like this. Go so. And when I get to this shape, it's a little bit tricky. I'm going to look at the negative space in between. So first I'm going to go down here, see where this part of the pot starts. I notice it comes in just a little bit, then curves out and back in. Now to get this shape right, I am going to look at the negatives of the space inside the handle, because that's a tricky one to draw. And I hope I got it right. May not be perfect. Okay, so you get the idea. Take your time, follow your shapes down, matching the curves if you can. Whoops. Down. The pot then curves out again. Back down, and at the bottom is a curve. You get the idea. So stay tuned. I'll put it on fast forward and you can see more how it's done. So I've got my shapes. I had to make some adjustments, and I haven't got it just right. Normally, I would have drawn it lighter so it would be much easier to make adjustments, but if I did that, you couldn't see it in the video. Our next step is to really look at the pot and notice the darks and lights. Where's the difference in value? And I'm going to add shading, but with this darker pencil. And a nice way to do it is to actually put the pencil a little bit on the side and bring in your shading. Now look at your shading. If the pot is curved, the shading will be curved. So I see that it's darker right here on the pot. So I just lay on some of that graphite from my pencil, and then I take this tool and use that for blending. And what happens is some of the graphite comes off on the tool, and then you can use it for the areas where there's just a little bit of shading, but not a huge amount. So notice how some of the black came off of here. In fact, sometimes what artists do is they take an extra piece of paper like this and pull some of the graphite off there, because sometimes it's a little easier to control your shading that way. I notice there's a little bit of shadow here. Really look at it. Sometimes there's just a little bit of shadow. Lots of times there's light. Follow the curve and shade it to match the curve on your pot. Okay, there's quite a lot under here. You get the idea. Have fun, take your time, add your shading, and remember, always look at the thing you're drawing. So the final touch after you've done your shading is to go back and look at your pot again and accentuate any spots that you need to bring it out. Is there a little spot that's a little darker? If you outline something, it'll bring it forward. Take your time. Be kind to yourself. This is a hard project to do, but when you're all done, would you send me a picture of your work? I can't wait to see it. Bye-bye.